So you've decided that you're going to go ahead and book a cruise, and you're wondering maybe this is the first time you've done it, or it's one of the first times that you've ever decided to do it, and you're wondering what's all involved with booking a cruise. And maybe you've wondered, what questions do I need to get answered with regards to booking a cruise? Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to help you. This channel is devoted to vacation videos, all types of vacation videos, Disney World vacations, cruises, and so on. So welcome to everyone to the channel. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you consider subscribing. So, first question is that you need to get answered: when? When do you want to cruise? When can you cruise with regards to maybe work? How much vacation time you have. When does your work allow you to take vacations? Obviously, if you're retired, which is kind of where the channel is headed, then of course that you don't have to worry about this one as much. You just decide, maybe when is the best time to cruise, which of course I think I've already covered in another video, but short answer is when school just lets in, which is basically now. Now is a great time to cruise because a lot of the kiddos are in school now. The next question that you might want to ask is which? Which cruise line do you want to use? There's many different cruise lines. I challenge you to go on Google and click on cruise lines. It's pretty overwhelming. For me personally, myself, I've only really been exposed to Disney Cruise Line so far. I'm really excited about an upcoming Carnival Cruise Line that I have booked, and I can't wait to take you along with. And eventually my wife and I plan on trying Royal Caribbean in the very near future as well. But there are many others. There's Norwegian, there's MSC, there's Virgin, there's Princess, and so on. And there's many more. If I forgot your favorite one, let me know in the comments, please. So you got to decide which cruise line do you want to go. And of course, the cruise lines are going to have, some are going to have advantages over others. Some are going to be arguably better than others. Some are going to be much more expensive than others, of course, which is another concern that you might have, is how much you want to spend on that cruise. But you do some research, check out maybe some of the videos that I have posted, and find out which cruise line it is that you want to use for your cruise. Next big question you need to ask. And they're not in any certain order. I'm just going off the questions that you need to figure out whenever you're going to cruise, and that is where. Where do you want to cruise? Do you want to go to the Bahamas, a very popular place? Do you want to go to the Caribbean, another extremely popular place? Nice and warm climates, beautiful water, gorgeous beaches, plenty of excursions to do. Or maybe something a little bit more exotic, like maybe an Alaskan cruise, which is on our list. European cruise, there's any number of cruises, cruise locations where you can go. And then the other where is, where do you want to depart from? Do you want to depart from Florida, an extremely popular port? Do you want to depart from Galveston, New Orleans? There's any number of ports that you can depart from. Again, Florida being one that's very, very popular. But that's another question to consider, is where do you want to go and where do you want to depart from? Something you need to consider and to figure out. Another question you need to get answered is how long? How long can you cruise, and how long do you want to cruise for? Different lengths of cruises offer different types of people and different vibes, shall I say. A 3-day cruise, these are very, very famous, especially with Carnival Cruise Line, and these are known for the party cruises. So you can expect a rowdy bunch and them being very active with the drink package and so on. Whereas 5 and 7 day cruises, maybe not so much of a party atmosphere and more of just really a relaxing, more of just a relaxing type of a cruise, more interested in where you're going and so on. So you need to figure out how long do you want to go. And again, you can go from as short as 3 days to 5 days to even 7 day cruises. And of course, that also ties into how much money you'd like to spend on that cruise too. Because obviously, the more days you go, the more expensive you're looking at. All right, and so the next question that I think you need to ask is, now that you perhaps have all these other previous questions answered and maybe you've booked a cruise, the next question you need to ask yourself is, what type of room do I want? Yes, another question, another choice you have to make. And there's, several different choices here. You've got everything from a suite, ultra, expensive and super deluxe, all the way down to the inside staterooms and balconies and portholes and all different types. And obviously that ties directly into how much money you want to spend and how much room you want on your cruise itself. So that's another question you need to ask yourself. Are you okay with the inside stateroom where it's going to be a little bit more tight, a little bit more, maybe a smaller area, and perhaps one of the biggest concerns with an inside stateroom is not so much the size, but so I've heard, which my wife and I are going to find out soon, because we booked one for the first time. So I've heard is that the room gets quite dark, and it can be actually kind of difficult to figure out which time is day and which time is night. Because when you turn the lights off and close the door, it is pitch black. So that's one concern with regards to the inside stateroom. Of course, the big plus for the inside stateroom is the money. It's easily the least expensive cruise type room that you can get. And then, of course, you got the balcony where you can walk outside and experience, the ocean, whatnot, which we had the pleasure of booking for our first Disney cruise on the Dream, which was really, really wonderful. Okay, so I highly recommend that if you can afford it. But that's the next question you need to ask yourself is, what type of room are you looking for on this cruise? And the last question that I want to cover with this initial talking about cruises and you want to go on a cruise is going to be how. How are you going to get to your port? How are you going to get to Florida? How are you going to get to New Orleans? How are you going to get to Galveston or whatever port you decided to depart from? Are you going to fly or are you going to drive? This also has something to do with a hotel. Okay, as I've mentioned on previous videos, it's never a good idea to try to fly in the same day of your departure. You're asking for trouble and you're asking for a lot of anxiety and stress and so on. I highly recommend that you either drive or fly in the day before your cruise, so your embarkation day is a lot smoother and a lot less stressful. Okay, so but that's what you need to decide. Are you going to fly or are you going to drive? Because again, that has to do with money. All right, and then lastly, of course, is what type of accommodations do you want the night before? Do you want to stay at a really nice hotel, or do you want more of a less expensive hotel, just something to put you up for the night? I hope this video helped you. I hope it's gotten you excited about your cruise. Again, this is just the initial questions that you need to ask, and appreciate you guys watching the video. Go ahead and hit that like button, and stay tuned. There's a lot more to come with regards to vacations and cruising, so please consider subscribing as well. Thank you and have a wonderful day. We'll see you at the next one.